What's up, guys? If I asked you what mobility training was or what mobility is, what would you guys say? Yeah, sometimes that's the debate. What is mobility training? Some people think it's foam rolling, some people think it's stretching. I think it's a combination of taking your joints through full range of motion with control, isometric contractions in certain ranges of motion to expand range of motion where needed, and then truly assessing a joint before you start so you really understand what you're diving into and how you can actually fix or correct somebody's imbalance. So the first thing, like I said, it starts with assessment. If we have healthy joints, we can get right into FRC training. So what is FRC? FRC is functional range conditioning. I'm a certified coach, and you can check them out on frc.com or functionalrangeconditioningseminars.com. They are huge with the UFC, they're in the MLB, and you'll see more and more of their coaches and principals coming out here in the next 5 to 20 years. Hopefully sooner than later. That's why we're doing this video. So I'm gonna take you through a 90-90 today and how you can use this position to do mobility training. Some great things to start with are some kettlebells, some yoga blocks, and a yoga mat. Any towels or soft pillows that you have will really help too as a beginner if you can't get yourself into this 90-90. So the first thing we need to talk about is the prerequisite of the 90-90. Do I have the ability to get both legs down to the ground without losing this back hip position? So if I can slide my hand underneath my leg, clearly this hip bone is not touching the ground. So that means I have to regress and get this hip bone down. You can use a towel back here, right here, wherever it is that you need to. So if you're like all wonky, you might be here to start with. I got a dowel in front leg and in back leg or yoga block, and I have some cushion for my sit bone. So I can start out of this position, but let's just say you're starting here, right? You wanna look for a front wall. So I have 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. I'm gonna square my hip and my front knee to 12. So I'm looking for this angle to be forward, and I'm gonna base my 90 off that front wall. Off this 90-degree angle, I will find my other 90, and if this causes too much pain or I cannot feel like I have control of the stretch and I'm out of control, I can regress by just simply pulling my heels in to what we call a shin box position. So now this would be the number one or entry level position to start your 90-90. A raised, elevated shin box, and you want your hands on the ground. So from here, I'm gonna start to crush the ground. I'm gonna work on my pails and rails contractions. These are progressive, angular, isometric loads. So we're gonna progress and regress the angle. We're regressing and progressing here. And then when we switch our legs over to the other side, we're gonna get the other two sides in. So I'm feeling a stretch on the back side here, as well as the inside of the leg here. So I'm internally rotated this hip, and I've externally rotated this hip, causing the systematic stretch and feeling inside of my body. It's really a lot of work to hold, so you really only want to feel comfortable there for as long as you can, and then you can come out. Once you finish that side, you want to find your other 90-90. So remember, let's set it up. Let's find our front wall. We're going to square the front leg to 12 o'clock. We're going to find the back leg to 90. For me, on this side, I always am going to need some help with my left hip for internal rotation. So I'm going to use a dowel in front, or in back, excuse me, here. So remember, my hands, they stay in front. That's my tripod. So my hands, they help me create force. I'm gonna push that into the ground to stand tall. I wanna be as tall as I can as I crush the ground. Something I forgot to mention on the first one, okay? So I'm standing up as tall as I can. I'm pushing into the ground. And I'm breathing. So I'm staying nice and tall. Draw that belly in, push down. Start with these pails and rails in your 90-90 to get started with, and go on YouTube to check out more FRC content. There's a ton of great coaches online like Ian Markow, and as well as Max. So I'm gonna be on there. Check me out as Max Neal's Personal Training on Instagram and YouTube. Have a great day, guys.